think that was the number one thing that I saw was that. Also, when doing like the what did you teach them? The
cat eye?
Yeah.
Cat eye.
It doesn't extend all the way out. Like some of it was a little like too dramatic, and a lot of times like you're not gonna do that on a bride, and that's what we really want to focus on is what you're gonna do for a bride. So like you're gonna do like a cat eye, but it's like a really short line. It's not supposed to go all the way out here, so you really don't want to extend further than the eyebrow where the eyebrow ends.
Okay.
When you're using like the colors, you don't want to. Barbie said don't put the dark colors underneath the eyebrow, but also like look to where the brow bone is. You don't want the dark colors to go past there either. So like a lot of times like where the crease is, maybe just a little bit above where the crease is where you want like dark colors. Don't put a dark color like all the way up the eyebrow and then just think you highlight right here. Like that's way too much color on the eye.
Yeah, and when if you're confused about, like, since you didn't have primer today, if you're confused about what concealer to use on the eye, remember when you're doing eye makeup, you have to lift and stretch and then go across, okay? And then for like, so if I was doing Carol's makeup and I didn't have a primer, I would use concealer, but I would use light on her. If someone was doing mine, they would probably use medium. If someone was using Vanessa's, maybe they'll still do medium because the dark concealer is really, really dark, so you don't want that unless you're doing like a really heavy black smoky eye. Okay? Make sense? Were there any questions about the last session? Because I know a lot of people had questions in the room. Did anybody want to like ask a quick question before we move on? No?
With the eye, do you stay at the crease or do you go a little above the crease?
You can, depending on the look that you want. Okay. Yeah. If you want it to be a little bit more dramatic, you can. Okay. Absolutely. Like for you, you have it like a little bit higher up, and that's fine. That looks great on you. That's good for your eyes. You know, it's good for your. You know, I wouldn't do it on everyone, but it's good for the eye shape and the look that you want. You're going for. So you can do that. Okay. It's everything is going to be based on like the number of faces you do. So the more faces you do, not everybody is going to be 100% the same. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. Any other questions? Oh, okay. Let's move on to foundation. Okay. So I'm going to quickly go over, I guess, the types of foundations and then how you can match, and then we're going to do some demos, and then you're going to go practice, okay? Okay. The most important thing of doing someone's face is their foundation. I know everybody thinks it's the eye makeup, but it's the face, okay? If you have a nice, gorgeous, flawless canvas, which is your face, your skin, the pictures are going to come out amazing, and the brides are going to be very happy. So it's a lot of things that are involved in choosing a foundation. It's not just slapping it on and, it's fine. So if you can get away, if your foundation is right, you can get away with anything else. If your eyes are not as dramatic or if anything else is not as dramatic, if your foundation is good, you can just about get away with everything else. Lots of different skin tones in this room. If you look around, there's lots of, every single skin tone imaginable. Not one foundation out of a bottle is going to match everybody 100%. This is where you're going to need to become more of a color expert. You're going to need to look at foundation and see, oh, this has more red, this has more yellow. And when you're trying to figure out, okay, what foundation should I choose or what kind, because we do have like balancing foundation, we have hydrating foundation, we have time defiance foundation, we have the compact foundation, we have a mineral foundation. There's so many, right? It's like, oh my God, where do I start? So whenever, one of the things that I use is always, like, I like to go with the foundations that are either more neutral or yellow tone, because if I'm not sure, like the worst thing you could do for a fair person that they have more red in their skin or pink in their skin is give them like a pinkish foundation. You want to counteract that color and you want to give them a nice flawless look. So all those things are going to come with practice. What's really nice is that on the Amway website, there's lots of videos on how to apply our foundation, how to apply our eye makeups and stuff. So when you guys are practicing, I'm going to play some of those in the background, so you can get other tips and stuff like that too. All right. And the other thing is that when you're doing a bride, you want to also choose like the right type of foundation to use. Some people, because of their skin type, right? Like some people have really, really oily skin, so they need like the balancing foundation because it counteracts oil, I think for up to 12 hours or something. The hydrating foundation is really great. One of the biggest things, and you might want to write this down, is that the foundations, I noticed that the colors are slightly different in the balancing and the hydrating. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. I don't know if you've noticed that or you girls have noticed the colors are slightly different. Like the toffee and the balancing is not the same as the toffee and the hydrate. It's similar, but it's like because of the formula, it's not the exact true color. And I'll show you when we do the demos. I'll show you on my hand so you can see the differences. So it's good for you to become familiar. There's certain sets of colors that we use often. Where's the 7? Do you know what the 7 are that we had? Do we have them written down? They're in the makeup kit. You should have all been sent like a preliminary makeup kit that has all the 7 colors that you can use to virtually mix and match and make any color that you want. Okay, so you should have got that via email. If you didn't, let one of us know, and we'll make sure that you get it. All right, so there's like lots of different foundations. There's stick foundations, there's liquid foundations, cream, mousse. The liquid is the balancing and the hydrating. The cream is the time defiance. Okay, there's tinted moisturizers, there's cream to powder, and there's powder compacts. Okay, for brides, you're going to basically be using the liquid foundations, or you're going to be using the cream. Some people use the stick, but Artistry doesn't make a stick, so you don't really need to worry about that. It's just a little bit more of a heavier coverage too. And I know most of the times when I meet someone, they want a flawless look, which means a very more medium to sheer coverage than like a full coverage foundation. And if their skin is good, remember you're addressing their skin issues prior to their wedding day. So if their skin is good or improves, like take Laura, she has gorgeous skin. For her, I wouldn't need to use a lot of coverage. I wouldn't need to cover up a lot. I would do for her foundation first, then do a little bit of concealer and powder. So like if they have good skin already, which you're going to help them because you're going to sell them your skincare products, right? You're going to work with them 6 months to a year, whatever, how far in advance their wedding is. And one thing I forgot to highlight before was, Sheila, raise your hand real quick. She's my bride from last year. I did her wedding. That's how I actually met her originally. And she was always interested in this, so she contacted me recently, and that's why she's here today to learn and to join the team. So she already is an IVO. She already got registered, so this is exciting. But we started like... And we started with you in advance of the wedding day, so you could start taking care of your skin and stuff and addressing some of the issues that she had. So and her pictures came out amazing. And from her wedding, I got so many bookings from just one wedding that I did of her. So many of her friends I did this year. So your business will grow if you have a good foundation backing with the skincare, and you'll make a ton of money. Like I have orders from people that I did 5 years ago, and they're still buying products. So I still maintain a relationship, and when you maintain those relationships, you get more business. I get a lot of leads, but most of them are referrals. Like somebody always is referring somebody else to me, and it's because I have a relationship because of the business that I set up with them initially with the skincare. Going back to the types of foundations, there's also the mineral powder which we carry, which is nice. I sometimes use that to set like someone's foundation too. So if they're like my tone, I'll use like the medium. Like those powders are nice also. So you're gonna find what works for you. Initially, we made the recommendations of what you can start a basic kit with, and you can always add on to that. If you know, hey, I really like setting my makeup with mineral powder, use it. There's no like one way or another. You have lots of options. And if you have more makeup, you have more options and you have more choices of what you can use depending on anything. So concealers, we have the stick concealer, and we have the Essentials pan, right? The Essentials pan is a little bit more creamy. So it's very easy to work with. I really like those, and sometimes I'll use those and mix the colors if I need an exact match. I really like the stick foundations too because they have more shades in the stick foundations, and so they're a little bit drier. So if you find that it's too dry for your client, what you want to do is rather than just using it directly underneath, the way you apply the concealer, and we're going to show you when we demo it. But if a concealer is too dry, then make sure you moisturize, especially if they have like drier skin around the eyes or they're a little bit older. Make sure you moisturize or have an eye cream in your kit and put that there so that when you put something like that on, it goes on. The other thing, and I know Amy down in Florida, she's also part of Cinderella Brides, and she does a lot of weddings out there, is she uses, and I use this for myself, like even today I don't have concealer on, I have foundation on my eyes, underneath my eyes as my concealer. So like you could do lots of different things, especially for older women. You can use